By Friday evening, you're not just tired, you're carrying the entire week in your shoulders, your inbox is still echoing in your mind, and even simple decisions like what should I eat feel strangely overwhelming. You sit down finally, and instead of relief, you feel this heavy pause. Your body is home, but your brain is still running. It's replaying conversations, unfinished tasks, tiny mistakes, tomorrow's responsibilities, and you wonder, why is it so hard to switch off? Sometimes we say, I'm tired, but that word feels too small because this isn't just about sleep. It's about being stretched thin from Monday to Friday. It's about smiling when you're stressed, answering when you want silence, showing up when your energy is quietly disappearing, and when the week ends, you don't want excitement. You want softness, you want quiet, you want to feel like yourself again. So how do you actually talk about that feeling in English? The real feeling, not just I'm tired. And how do you describe what you truly need after a long week? By the way, I'm Keela and welcome to Keela English Podcast. I'm so happy you're here. Now take a slow breath with me and let's talk about what relaxing after a long week really sounds like in English. Let's begin with a word that goes deeper than tired. Imagine you wake up on Saturday, and even after sleeping, you still feel low. Your energy isn't dramatic, it's just gone. In that moment, you can say, I feel depleted. Depleted means your energy has been used up little by little, not in one big explosion, but slowly. Maybe you handled difficult clients, maybe you studied every night, maybe you helped everyone accept yourself. By Friday, you're not angry, you're not lazy, you're depleted. You can say, this week completely depleted me. That sentence feels honest. Or if a friend invites you out and you just can't, you might say, I'd love to, but I feel a bit depleted tonight. Notice how that sounds calmer and more mature than I'm exhausted. And here's something important. When you learn words like depleted, you don't just improve your vocabulary, you improve your self-awareness. You understand yourself better. If you're enjoying this kind of practical, real-life English, make sure you subscribe and share this episode with a friend who also needs more natural phrases for everyday life. We're building confidence together, one honest sentence at a time. Now, sometimes feeling depleted happens because you did too much. You said yes too often, you answered messages late at night, you accepted extra work. In English, there's a beautiful word for that, overextended. You can say, I overextended myself this week. That means you stretched your time and energy too far. Or, I feel overextended lately. It's not dramatic, it's reflective, it shows maturity. And here's the question I want you to think about. Are you tired or are you overextended? Because understanding that difference changes how you relax. And in a moment, I'm going to show you how to describe the exact process of coming down from that pressure. The gentle transition your body and mind need before true rest can begin. Sometimes the most important part of relaxing isn't the bath, the movie, or the blanket. It's that small transition moment when you shift from pressure to peace. After you realize I overextended myself, the next step is giving yourself space to come down slowly. And in English, there's a perfect word for that, decompress. Decompress means to gradually release stress after a busy or intense period. It's not instant. You don't walk through your front door and magically feel calm. It's a process. You can say, I need a few minutes to decompress, and that sentence already creates a boundary. It tells people and yourself that you're moving from work mode into rest mode. For example, imagine you arrive home and someone immediately starts asking questions. Instead of feeling irritated, you can calmly say, give me 10 minutes, I just need to decompress. That sounds clear and emotionally intelligent. Or maybe music helps you. You might say, listening to soft music helps me decompress after a long day. Notice how specific that feels. Not just relax, decompress. It shows you're coming down from something heavy. But let me ask you something. Have you ever sat down to relax and your body was still, but your mind was racing? You're on the couch, but inside your head, there's a long list, emails, groceries, that message you forgot to send, and you think, why can't I just switch off? That's because of something we call mental clutter. Mental clutter is when your mind feels full of too many thoughts, reminders, and unfinished tasks, like too many tabs open in your brain. You can say, I have a lot of mental clutter tonight, or my mind feels cluttered. That sentence alone can feel like relief because you're naming the problem. Maybe you're trying to watch a show, but you keep thinking about tomorrow. Instead of saying, I can't focus, you could say, I think I just have too much mental clutter right now. That sounds reflective, not negative. And here's a common mistake many learners make. They think relaxing means doing something big or impressive. A weekend trip, a perfect self-care routine. But real relaxation is often simple. It begins when you stop overextending yourself, allow time to decompress, and gently clear your mental clutter. You might even ask yourself, what do I actually need tonight? Not what looks productive, not what looks interesting online, but what truly helps you feel lighter. Sometimes the answer is writing everything down to clear your mental clutter. Sometimes it's silence, sometimes it's changing into comfortable clothes and doing absolutely nothing. And if part of you feels guilty for that, you're not alone. Many people think rest must be earned. But rest is not a reward, it's recovery. When you start to decompress and reduce your mental clutter, something shifts. Your breathing slows down, your shoulders drop. The room feels quieter, and that's when you're finally ready for the next step, not just stopping stress, but actually giving your energy back. Because there's a difference between stopping and restoring. And in the next part, we're going to talk about the words that help you describe how you refill your energy in a gentle, human way, and how to talk about enjoying those peaceful moments without rushing through them. And this is where something beautiful starts to happen. When you've stopped overextending yourself, when you've allowed time to decompress, when your mental clutter is a little quieter, you're finally ready to restore your energy. Not in a dramatic way, but in a gentle one. That's where the word replenish comes in. Replenish means to refill something that has been used up. After a long week, it's usually your energy, your patience, or even your sense of self that needs replenishing. You can say, a quiet evening replenishes me, or spending time alone helps replenish my energy. Notice how soft that sounds. It's not about power or speed, it's about care. Let's make this practical with real situations you might experience. Imagine you had a stressful week at work. On Friday night, instead of going out, you cook a simple meal and play soft music. You could say, cooking slowly after work really replenishes me. That sentence is natural, warm, and very real. Or maybe you're a student. You studied all week and your brain feels full. On Saturday morning, you go for a slow walk in the park. Later, you tell a friend, that walk really replenished me. I feel clearer now. Replenished is the past form, and it tells the story of restoration. Maybe you're a parent who has been taking care of everyone else. Late at night, you finally sit down with a cup of tea. You might say quietly, these 10 minutes alone replenish me. That's powerful. Small, but powerful. Or perhaps you meet a close friend and have an honest conversation. Afterward, you think, talking to her always replenishes me. Not drains. Replenishes. And here's something personal. There was a time in my life when I confused distraction with rest. I would scroll on my phone for hours thinking I was relaxing, but afterward I didn't feel replenished. I felt more tired. I had to learn the difference between escaping and restoring. Real relaxation is not about avoiding your feelings, it's about choosing something that gently gives you energy back. Now, once you begin to feel replenished, even a little, you can move into another beautiful word, savor. Savor means to enjoy something slowly and fully. After a long week, this is a skill you can say, I want to savor this quiet moment, or I'm savoring my coffee this morning. It's stronger than enjoy. When you savor something, you're present. Picture this. It's Sunday evening, the light is soft, you're drinking tea. Instead of checking your phone, you pause and think, I'm going to savor this. That sentence changes the experience. You slow down. Or imagine you're having dinner with family. No rush, no pressure. You could say, let's linger over dinner tonight. Linger means to stay a little longer, because something feels good. You linger over coffee, you linger in conversation, you linger in a peaceful silence. 4 simple scenarios: cooking to replenish, walking to replenish, savoring tea, lingering over dinner. These are not impressive activities, but they are real. And here's the emotional truth: you don't need a perfect life to feel restored. You just need small moments that you choose consciously. When you allow yourself to replenish, to savor, and to linger, you're not being lazy. You're rebuilding your energy in a sustainable way. And in the final part, I want to talk directly to the fear many English learners feel. The fear of speaking when you're tired, when your mind feels empty, when you freeze. Because relaxation is not only about your body, it's also about how you speak to yourself when you feel stuck. And that fear, the one that appears when you're tired, when your mind feels slow, when someone suddenly speaks English to you and you freeze, that fear is very real, especially after a long week. When you're depleted or overextended, your brain doesn't want to perform. It wants quiet. So what do you say in those moments? First, give yourself a bridge phrase, a small sentence that buys you time and reduces pressure. You can say, "Give me a second, I'm thinking," or "Let me find the right word," or even, "I'm a little tired today, so I might speak slowly." These are not signs of weakness. They are signs of control. They help you decompress in conversation. Remember everything we talked about. When your energy is low, you can say, "I feel depleted." When you've done too much, "I overextended myself this week." When you need space, "I just need a few minutes to decompress." When your head feels busy, "I have a lot of mental clutter tonight." When something restores you, "That walk replenished me." When you slow down to enjoy something, "I'm savoring this moment." And when something feels too good to end, "Let's linger a little longer." These are not just vocabulary words, they are emotional tools. They help you describe your real life with clarity and maturity. And I want to tell you something honestly. There were times when I felt guilty for resting. I thought I had to always be productive, always improving, always doing more. But I learned that if I never replenish myself, I eventually have nothing left to give. To my work, to my relationships, even to my English. Rest is not the opposite of progress. It supports progress. The same is true for you. If you're learning English after a long week, that already shows dedication, but you don't need to be perfect every day. Some days you study actively, other days you simply listen. Some days you speak confidently, other days you say, "Give me a second," and that is still growth. So tonight or this weekend, ask yourself, what would truly replenish me? Is it silence, a slow breakfast, a walk without your phone, a long conversation? And when you find that small thing, savor it. Stay present. Linger in it without guilt. Now, I'd love to hear from you. After a long week, what do you usually need most? Do you feel depleted, overextended? What helps you decompress? Write 1 or 2 sentences in the comments using today's vocabulary. I read your comments, and they truly